Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, a CNN panel is left stunned as Scott Jennings roasts the Harris-Walz campaign and makes a colorful point that perfectly sums up Democrats' problems with men. We're covering this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. Welcome back to the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer. We cover the top 5 stories here in around 10 minutes. Our top story today, CNN panel is left stunned as Scott Jennings roasts the Harris-Walz campaign and makes a colorful point that perfectly sums up Democrats' problems with men. Colin Linebarger reports. One of the few bright lights on the channel, formerly known as the Clinton News Network, has been conservative strategist and Trump supporter Scott Jennings. Time and time again, he has gone into the lion's den to take out deranged leftists. On Sunday morning, Jennings was brought on CNN's State of the Union's program to discuss the state of the presidential race. As the Gateway Pundit readers know, Kamala Harris had one of her worst weeks as a candidate, and Tim Walz's comical efforts to make himself relatable have only made things worse. Remember, they're now talking about that they own Glocks, and they're wearing their hunting costumes, pretending to know how to load shotguns. Now, Jennings began by mocking the Harris-Walz campaign's difficult week, pointing out the unfavorable headlines. Harris's falling poll numbers and their problems with black voters. He then made a colorful point that perfectly illustrated the crisis Democrats are facing with men. They care more about dudes who want to become women than men who want to be men. I have the clip for you here from CNN. You won't be shocked, but I have to say, he handled this incredibly. Listen to what Jennings had to say.
It was a rough week. I mean, her faves are down. They're struggling with, the front page of the New York Times this morning, Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem, and you see the Democrats reacting to it. And I think what they are now finally in October, the election, coming to realize is that a lot of men think Democrats care more about dudes who want to become women than dudes who just want to be dudes. And no hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made. Working class men, whether you're black, Hispanic, or white, persistently, consistently do not believe the Democratic Party, and specifically Kamala Harris, are going to do a thing for them. They've been told that they're the problem, and I suspect they're going to rise up on Election Day and tell the elites who told them that you're wrong.
Yeah, and we are going to tell them they're wrong. I mean, it doesn't really matter what skin color you are, particularly they've been targeting white male populations. Now, you know, white males, straight males, I mean, we all get thrown into the same group, but ultimately, whether you're black or you're Hispanic, look, we're all thinking the same thing. This has gotten completely out of control, especially when it comes to the totality of targeting men and saying that we're the issue when we're the ones who built this damn country, especially white men. Why are we demonizing white men when they're a massive voting bloc? I think we're going to turn out and change the tide. In additional news, a man was arrested outside of the Trump Coachella event. He was spotted at RNC convention next to Don Jr. Was this a third assassination attempt, or was this something different? Christina Lila reports. A 49-year-old man named Vance Miller was arrested by Riverside law enforcement at a checkpoint about a mile outside of Trump's Coachella, California event on Saturday. Miller was taken into custody on 2 misdemeanor charges after he was found to be illegally in possession of 2 firearms and a high-capacity magazine. He was released on $5,000 bail. V. Miller was also allegedly in possession of a fake VIP pass and press passes for Trump's rally. Now, on Saturday, October 12, 2024, deputies assigned to former President Donald Trump's rally in the Coachella Valley contacted the driver of a black SUV at a checkpoint at the intersection of Avenue 52 and Celebration Drive. The male driver, identified as Vance Miller, a 49-year-old resident of Las Vegas, was found to be illegally in possession of a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine. Miller was taken into custody and without incident and later booked at the John G. Benoit Detention Center for possession of a loaded firearm and possession of a high-capacity magazine. The incident did not impact the safety of former President Trump or attendees at the event. Anyone with information on the case is encouraged to call Deputy Coronado at the Palm Desert Sheriff's Station by calling 760-836-1600. Now we have the video for you. Apparently he was pictured at the, I guess what's the tweet here? Check this out. Jay Stewart reminded us that Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco says Trump was probably just targeted in a third assassination attempt after 49-year-old Vance Miller was arrested. The individual reportedly expressed an intent to kill the president. Miller appears to have gotten within feet of Donald Trump Jr. at the RNC and was seen taking photos with popular conservatives. You can see him here taking a picture and down even more.
So one thing I don't get is that everything at this convention, at the Republican National Convention, is cashless. This whole place is cashless. So I don't know. See, that's the Republican National Convention behind me. Wonderful people, wonderful time. just not happy that it's all cashless.
All right. Well, you see the press release there from the sheriff's department, but I'm not entirely sure that this is an attempted assassination. We'll have to see the development. I'm not a skeptic in terms of I know people want to kill Trump. Whether or not this was an assassination attempt, we will have to wait for the details to come out because this could have just been a mistake. This video that we see released doesn't show any antagonization towards Republicans or the RNC. And if he was friendly with the Republicans, he could have had a change of mind. We do see Republicans today turning on Trump. There's a great voting swath, the people that are against the war in Iran, Israel, or even abortion, that are finding Trump to be reneging on those issues and are turning against him. But was this guy a part of some, internal coup, or was he a crazy guy, or maybe just a guy caught up with illegal possession of firearms, which is unconstitutional, by the way. Illegal possession of firearms, high-capacity magazines. What the hell are these points? We should be allowed to own whatever we want. We're Americans, damn it. Speaking of this, an additional story here. Hell freezes over as far-left Saturday Night Live brutally mocks Kamala Harris in a surprising turn of events. Colin Linebarger reports that Kamala Harris's comedy of errors is causing even some of her most reliable allies to knife her in the back. For weeks, far-left Saturday Night Live had colluded with Harris, like the rest of the corporate media, because they wanted to see President Trump defeated once and for all. But this all changed last night during the show's cold open. The skit involved a parody of Steve Harvey's famous Family Feud game show, which the show's runners prepared as response to Trump declining to do another debate against Harris. Longtime SNL regular Kenan Thompson starred as Steve Harvey, while Maya Rudolph and James Austin Johnson portrayed Harris and Trump respectively. We have the clip for you. It is really hilarious, so just sit back, buckle up, and get ready to watch this amazing mockery of Kamala right ahead of the election. Do they know something we don't? Watch.
We got two political rivals. On this side is the Democrats led by Vice President Kamala Harris.
It's wonderful to be here, Steve. I love to see a man getting paid millions of dollars at his black job.
And I'd like to say a black thank you. You have been out there this week. I saw you on Univision and Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, Steve, it's been a hell of a week. I went on Howard Stern to reach the horny cab drivers. I went on The View for the horny moms. And I also went on the podcast Call Her Daddy because I have a message. I have a message for young women, okay? You need to go to the ballot box if you want the government out your ballot box.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah, and it's working. My campaign has raised $1 billion.
Oh, my Lord. How are you not winning by a landslide?
That's a question I scream into my pillow every morning.
Yeah, that's a question that she screams into my pillow every night, she says. And that's interesting because a large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving my pillow with a ton of extra my pillows. Mike Lindell, the amazing company, the most comfortable pillow you could ever order. Well, you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you will get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. That's $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen size MyPillows for just $18.88 and upgrade to king size for only $1 more. Now you can get the body pillows if you're looking to cuddle with something for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. Look, we know that the left-wing media has been attacking Mike Lindell. He's been fighting for election integrity. And before that, he was showing us what life was like a Christian and to fight to make a company that respects its employees and creates a product that everybody loves. If you want to support American manufacturing, if you want to support a real individual who loves your country, go to mypillow.com and support your sleep today. Use my promo code Elijah or call 1-800-210-8491 to take advantage of the wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right, get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They are limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-210-8491 and use my promo code Elijah to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever. Now, she said here, okay, great, there's the MyPillow. But the issue with JD's Vance is that he's a little bit more masterful. JD's masterclass was put on full display as Vance embarrasses leftist New York Times reporter while delivering an important history lesson when she tries to claim illegals are needed to build houses. Rather than reading the boring story for you, I have the original clip itself. We're going to have to watch it here. Check out this interaction and you tell me what you think. Watch.
The reason that there is a housing crisis is that not enough houses have been built.
And that we have 25 million people who shouldn't be here.
Well, I mean, this is the thing.
I think it's both.
I know you do. I don't think that many people who look into this agree with you, but about a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large portion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country by removing all the people who are working in construction?
Well, I think it's a fair question because we know that back in the 1960s when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses, didn't build houses. But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, in service of a point, Lulu, the assumption that because a large number of home builders now are using undocumented labor, that's the only way to build homes. I think, again,
the country is much bigger. The need is much bigger. I mean, I'm not arguing in favor of illegal immigration. I'm asking how you would deal with the knock-on effect of your proposal to remove millions of people who work in a critical part of the economy.
Well, I think that what you would do is you would take, let's say, for example, the 7 million prime-age men who have dropped out of the labor force, and you have a smaller number of women, but still millions of women prime-age who have dropped out of the labor force. You absolutely could re-engage folks into the American labor market. This is, I think,
to work in construction?
Of course you could.
I mean, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. Most people who
unemployment rate, Lulu, this is important.
But most people who don't work can't work in the regular economy. They're in the military, they're parents, they're sick, they're old. They might not want to work in construction.
The unemployment rate does not count labor force participation dropouts. And again, this is one of the really deranged things that I think illegal immigration does to our society is it gets us in a mindset of saying we can only build houses with illegal immigrants when we have 7 million, just men, not even women, just men who have completely dropped out of the labor force. People say, well, Americans won't do those jobs. Americans won't do those jobs for below the table wages. They won't do those jobs for non-living wages, but people will do those jobs. They will just do those jobs at certain wages. And think about this from the perspective of an American company, okay? I want them to go searching in their own country for their own citizens, sometimes people who may be struggling with addiction or trauma.
Yeah, and this is always the thing of like, we should fight for illegals. Really? I mean, look, the problem is we have a lot of problems because we have a lot of people that are here that actually should not be here. And that's a masterclass if I've ever seen one. Now, speaking of interesting things, also, J.D. Vance obliterated the Despicable ABC host Marta Raditz when she lies about the illegal alien gangs taking over America and trashes President Trump. Check out this clip that we have where once again we're seeing ahead of the election that J.D. Vance is, among all else, a master when it comes to handling the mainstream media. Check this out directly from ABC. Here's J.D. Vance handling them masterfully. Watch.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
Yeah, and we are glad that he did. Now, if you want more videos like this, you can find more at thegatewaypundit.com. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. My name is Elijah Schaffer. Thank you for watching the Gateway Pundit's Weekend Review. Have a great rest of the week as always, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.